Wildfires, we're back. It is very interesting that the title of the next chapter is The Fire, because today and yesterday, so today is Wednesday and yesterday, there's actually an air safety warning out in Illinois. We usually don't have to deal with things like this because we typically don't have wildfires in Illinois, but because the smoke from the Canada wildfires have floated south, it is not safe for us to go outside right now because of the wildfires, which is wild because, again, this is not something we usually deal with here outside of Chicago. So it's actually very fitting that our next title is The Fire, and I think we can learn a little bit more about how dangerous these are. And of course, I'm immediately thinking about our animals. So let's get reading. We are on chapter 57, The Fire. Strange sounds, and these illustrations are really important. Strange sounds were echoing from the far side of the pond. What started as a low murmur gradually swelled to a chorus of terrified voices. There was an eerie glow in that part of the forest, and a thick plume of smoke began rising up from the snowy treetops. This must be that plume of smoke. Roz charged across the ice and found the second lodge completely engulfed by a raging fire. Frightened animals were running in every direction, fleeing for their lives through the deep snow. "What happened?" shouted Roz as Broadfoot galloped wildly past. Broadfoot is the most. "We put too many logs in the fire pit," he said without stopping. "The flames climbed up to the ceiling." It seems like the animals are not very good with this new fire safety. "My baby is still in there," cried a mother hare, pointing at the burning lodge. "Somebody help, please." Roz didn't hesitate. She plowed through the snow and ducked into the lodge. Flames and smoke were everywhere. Are you imagining this happening, readers? A tall stack of logs blazed in the fire pit, and in the far corner, a tiny ball of fur was shaking with fear. Crouching low, the robot wound her way beneath the smoke and around the flames and gently scooped up the young hare. "Do not worry," Roz yelled over the roar of the fire. "You are going to be okay." She turned to leave, but the doorway had started to crumble. So she shielded the hare with her body and smashed right through the walls of the lodge. She is so brave, our robot. Sizzling pieces of wood went flying as the robot and the hare burst outside into the soft snow. Imagine how her mother must feel seeing her little baby come out safely. "Oh, darling, you're all right," cried the mother hare, pulling her daughter close. "Thank you for saving my baby, Roz." Now that everyone was safely away, the robot turned her attention to putting out the fire. Her glowing eyes darted around as she computed a plan. Then, with all the strength in her legs, she launched herself high up into the snowy branches of the nearest pine tree. A moment later, the tree was shaking violently, and heaps of snow were sliding from its branches and pouring onto the flames. Roz is one brilliant robot. Like an avalanche. Steam hissed up through the smothering mound of snow. The flames quickly died, the snow quickly melted, and within minutes, all that remained was the charred foundation of the lodge. So it seems like we've solved one problem, right? The fire is out, but now we've invited another problem because now the lodge is destroyed, and where are the animals going to seek shelter during this really, really rough winter? Roz dropped down from the tree and waited as the frightened animals slowly returned. Then she said to them, "Would you like another lodge?" I love this robot. The animals looked at one another, unsure of what to do. Understandably, they were afraid of another fire breaking out, but They were far more afraid of the deadly cold, so they pulled together and worked with Roz and built a bigger, better lodge on top of the old one. It had a taller ceiling and a deeper fire pit. It was made with more rock and less wood, and it had a supply of water for emergencies. Seems like they're engineers. They actually improved upon their original design. But the most important safety feature of this rebuilt lodge were the lodgers themselves, who now had a whole new respect for fire. Oh, I'm looking forward to reading this chapter with you tomorrow, my friends. The next chapter is chapter 58, and it's called Conversations, which I love a conversation, you know that. And I'm seeing some logs with fire coming out. So I'm predicting, as readers do, and I can imagine that a lot of you are probably having the same predictions, that the next chapter is going to show us how the animals are continuing to really trust Roz and build those connections and relationships with each other. So please pop by tomorrow and we can read our next chapter together. I hope you guys are having fun inside today. I hope curling up with a book. Maybe you're doing some writing. Maybe you're going to be writing the next chapters of The Wild Robot, or maybe you're even just responding to what's happened so far. Love you guys. Keep up the great reading, and I'll see you tomorrow.